A lot of action coming after you, Mr. President, but I don't want to get you down tonight. This might get you down. Biden right now is polling better than you were when you became president, and I didn't want to make you upset about that, but it's just news. He's polling better than you.
No, in certain
What do you
polls,
think that?
in probably the same polls that said Hillary Clinton was going to beat me in president. But I can tell you on the OAN evangelical date rapist poll, I am at
Wait,
92.
what poll is that?
OAN, our great channel, OAN,
Yes.
evangelical date rapist poll has me at 92%
No,
approval.
that's date rapists are the people who are doing the poll. So all date rapists vote in that poll.
I think it's both. I think they're both
Evangelical.
conducting the poll thank you, Rod. Thank you. See, notice that tech stuff left off the very powerful evangelical. Okay, these are great Christians.
I'm sorry.
who
So the
support me.
evangelical date rapists, my apology. Are they the only ones who are voting or the victims voting?
Oh no, everybody's voting that listens to OAN, but it's it's the organization is the OAN date rapists. They conduct the poll.
So-
Like the New York Times poll. It's the New York Times that do the poll. So it's the OAN evangelical date rapist poll. Very reliable, has a very strong reputation.
I've never heard them do any other.
Well, one of the great things about it is when they say to people, "Do you support President Trump? Yes or no?" They rarely take no for an answer. So we get a very high positive return on the polling. So
That's genius because you definitely don't want to tell a date rapist no. That is a genius way to poll, Mr.
evangelical
Evangelical.
date
Of course.
rapist. Okay, evangelical strong Christians.
Have they done any other polls that we're familiar with?
They're sort of new. They're using sort of a newer technique. They're sort of the hot new polling place on the market. So they might be back with more polling later.
They're gonna be like the new Pew Research Center.
Exactly.
Oh man, the
No,
evangelical.
also, how are we sure that the Joe Biden polls are even legitimate?
Thank you, Rod.
Mr. Trump may have been up in those polls early, and then when the mail-in poll votes start coming in, all of a sudden out of nowhere, now he's down. And it's like, how did Joe Biden get all these extra votes overnight with nobody able to oversee who was putting the votes in? So I don't know. I would challenge the results of those polls.
Well, I know where 270 of those votes came from.
Well, hey, that was off the record.
Oh,
Unbelievable. I mean, you edit that because
I'll edit that.
that is a violation, and now you're fired. This is your last episode.
Now, Mr. President,
It's called podcast guest confidentiality.
you're right. My apologies. We haven't gone off the podcast record in a very long time. So, but I will edit that out. I promise.
Thank you.